One of my favorite features of the Panasonic GH5 is the fact that it has focus transition, which allows you to automate rack focus shots. Unfortunately, the interface for this tool is far more complicated than it needs to be. So first I'll show the way it works, and then I'll suggest the way it could work. Now, to set up 2 focus points, you need no less than 10 steps to make it work. So step 1, you have to click on Focus Pull Settings. Step 2, you need to select POS 1. Step 3, you need to set the focus for position 1. Now I'm putting this as a single step, but really it's several steps depending on how you choose to set your focus. Step 4, you need to click Set. Then you need to click on position 2. Once again, you need to select your focus. And then step 7, you need to click on Set once again. Step 8, you need to click on the back button. Step 9, you need to click on Start. And finally, you can hit record to start recording your rack focus. What I suggest is drastically simplifying the interface, therefore reducing the number of steps. A main menu page would still be necessary for adjusting settings such as the transition speed and if there's a delay before that rack focus takes place. Other than that, the only thing that's really necessary is the 4th interface that we see here. Rather than using the POS buttons for selecting which preset focus point is active, I suggest using those same 3 buttons for setting the focus. And the way this would work is really simple. If you want to set the focus for POS 1, you would simply manually or automatically adjust your focus. So this little AF icon could appear somewhere here on the screen. And then to lock that focus setting, you would simply long press the POS button. There's 2 advantages to the workflow I suggest. First of all, as you can see here, there's fewer steps involved for accomplishing the exact same thing. And second of all, everything could be accomplished from a single user interface, always in context of the footage the user is going to record. This would be a lot more intuitive and less confusing than the current workflow that requires that users jump back and forth between 4 different interfaces. Using the single interface approach I'm suggesting would also fix a bug in the current workflow. And that is if you set POS 2, for example, when you click on the Start button, the active POS button on the screen is POS 1, even though in fact the focus setting that's currently being shown is POS 2. So this is a bug in the current workflow that it'd be nice if it could be fixed, but rather than fixing this bug, I suggest just moving to a much more intelligent interface that would solve this problem to begin with. Finally, there's one last thing that should be fixed in the way focus transition works, and that is if you set focus transition wait to either 5 or 10 seconds, that delay should only apply when the user is recording. Because if you're switching between POS 1, 2, and or 3 prior to recording just to verify your focus points, there's no reason that a user would ever want to wait that 5 or 10 second delay before they can actually preview what the focus setting is set at for POS 1, 2, or 3. So that's it. Thank you, Panasonic, for giving us this great tool. But of course, as I've pointed out, it could be greatly improved. So hopefully you can improve that in a firmware update. Thanks again.